Hello, hello, ladies. How is everybody on this fine Wednesday? We are talking about something that I think almost every single person has experienced, and a lot of people in this group have experienced it for a very long time, and doctors don't really have any way of getting rid of it. So let me know in the comments. Say hi if you are here. Give me a hashtag replay if you are here on the replay. Um, I'm just going to let everybody know that we are live. Hopefully, you got my reminder message. For those of you who wanted a reminder, Facebook is letting me message everybody again, which is wonderful. Facebook likes to be a little bit funny about when I can send messages to y'all. So if you're ever looking for something and you don't see it, that might just be the case that Facebook has cut me off or Nicole. And so you can always message us. As long as you message us, we can send you the thing. So if it's a resource or a link or whatever you're waiting for, just send us a message and we can send it right back to you. So we are talking about heartburn today. Now, this could be reflux, this could be GERD, this could be indigestion, right? Any kind of like feeling that something is coming up to where it's not supposed to be, right? Our digestion is everything is supposed to be going down all the time. So if anything feels like it's coming back up, besides like a burp, which is normal, we don't want anything coming back up. So why do people experience this? Most people think that heartburn means too much stomach acid. And that is a very, very, very big problem because that is so very rarely the true cause. And so when we treat it incorrectly, which is what, hi, Jackie, which is what most conventional doctors do, they think it's too much stomach acid. So what do? They put you on some sort of acid blocker. Let me know in the comments if you're on some sort of acid blocker, have been on one, any kind of Pepcid, Zantac, Tums, omeprazole, right? Like the list goes on and on and on. Acid blockers are a huge, huge, huge moneymaker for doctors. When we block the acid, this makes digestion much worse long term, which makes everything in the body worse long term. Hello, Tina. Thank you for that very kind post. My heart has grown 10 sizes. Thank you so much. If you haven't seen, Tina has a great testimonial post that she just put in the group about some of the wonderful things that she has experienced since we've worked together. She came to me very frustrated because she has done all the things right and was still experiencing so many different issues. And, doctors weren't being very helpful. She's a caretaker for her mother. And we did her gut microbiome test and we could see exactly what was going on. And that's why we can get results this quickly. I think we just did her test results maybe a month ago. And she's already seeing just such wonderful improvements. So thank you for posting that, Tina. And I do want you all to read things like that, not so that, I can look like a great person, but so that you know that it is possible for you because Tina came to me. She's been in this group for a long time. She's done a lot of my workshops and things. And I think that to a certain point, you think, I don't even know if it's possible for me to feel better. And now she knows that it is. So that is just, I want to give you all hope. And reading testimonials like that is a great way to restore hope. So when we go to the doctor with any kind of heartburn or reflux, right, the doctor immediately puts us on omeprazole. It clearly states on the package that it should not be taken any longer than 2 weeks. And I have had clients that have come to me that have been on acid blockers for 30 years, right? Like 2 weeks is the max, and we're talking 30 years, and the doctor says just take it to the day you die. The main problem with this, there's a lot of problems with this, but the main problem with this is that we cannot digest our food without stomach acid, right? From our mouth all the way to our anus, there are steps that have to happen for us to digest food well. And it's not that we just want to digest our food well so we don't get bloated or get heartburn. We need to digest our food well so we can absorb our nutrients and build cells of our body and support our brain and support our heart and our lungs, right? Like it's so important for us to digest our food, not just to avoid symptoms. So every time we take an acid blocker and we tell the body not to make stomach acid, then we are hindering the body's ability to break down food in the stomach. And we might be suppressing the acid, so you might not get the heartburn, but what else is happening all the way down the pike, right? So what we need to do is find the root cause of your heartburn and address what the cause is. Because the second piece is not only are we suppressing the acid that we so desperately need, but we also aren't addressing what caused the heartburn in the first place. So that thing is going to continue to happen, right? So we've put a band aid over the symptom, but all the problems are still there and all the problems are going to get worse, right? So we have a combination of things that cause heartburn. And typically it is not enough stomach acid. So I want you to really think about that. Typically, root cause number one of heartburn is not enough stomach acid. Acid reflux, not enough stomach acid. So what happens is we deplete our stomach acid from maybe chronic stress, maybe various other medications. Maybe we're undernourished and not eating enough. Maybe we're eating way too much and we're eating a lot of really crappy foods. There's cortisol, hormones. There's so many root causes, right? And that's why we need to figure out your root cause, which is going to be different than someone else's, because that's how we're going to address your heartburn different than everybody else's, right? So we have all these things that are causing low stomach acid. Now when we eat food, it just kind of sits in the stomach. Like nothing is breaking it down. So what happens? It ferments. It doesn't go down into the small intestine, right? We need the stomach acid to break it down into a completely liquid form and send it into the small intestine. Well, if that doesn't happen because we don't have the stomach acid, it sits there, it ferments. You eat breakfast, you don't break down your breakfast. Then you eat lunch, you haven't broken down your breakfast. Now you haven't broken down your lunch. You go to eat dinner, your belly blows up like a balloon because there's so much food fermenting in there. And I'm starting to get choked up just thinking about it. Where does the acid go now? It has nowhere else to go but up because there's so much pressure in the belly from all this fermented food. What happens in fermentation? Gas release. So we get bloated. That's why bloating and heartburn so often go together. Then you throw the PPI on top of it that lessens the stomach acid even more. And this whole process gets worse and worse and worse. So the red flag of heartburn is telling you to look at your root cause. What is causing this? It's not too much stomach acid, right? So a lot of times it has to do with your nervous system. And this is the piece that our conventional medical system completely ignores. So last year I went through a house fire. Many of you know. It's actually been a year now. Well, almost a year. It was March 2nd. We're still out of our house. We went through this house fire. We moved. We're now in our third different house that we've stayed in. And this brought on some health challenges of my own. I had a bad reaction to some chemicals that were used to put the fire out, plus the stress of living out of a suitcase and moving around and having to go through all of our stuff, right? And what I realized, so I had to take a step away from this group. I don't know if anyone noticed. And I had to take a step away from my business a little bit. And I had to live my own work. And it completely changed how I approach any kind of gut healing now, any kind of symptom. When your nervous system gets dysregulated from, maybe it's something from childhood, maybe it's chronic stress from your family, maybe it's, a relationship that you're in For me, it was a fire, right? If the body doesn't feel safe, it doesn't prioritize digestion, it prioritizes handling life. So rather than jumping right to a PPI, to an acid blocker, which is only going to make things worse, let's look at restoring safety in the body first. So our bodies are so intelligent. It goes back to caveman days, right? So when we had to run from a tiger as a caveman, do you think we would stop along the way and like pick a strawberry and eat a strawberry and digest it? Hell no, we're running, right? So our body goes, oh shit, we are in a crisis here. Let's shut down the digestion because it is the most energy consuming process in the body. We need our energy conserved. Let's jack up the cortisol, the hormone that helps you deal with stress. Let's raise the blood pressure, right? Send all the blood out to the limbs, take the blood flow away from the gut, send it out to the limbs because now we need to run. And we need to be laser focused, and we need to be thinking about what we need to do next, right? So the gut has none of the resources in your body are now into your gut. So the body's very smart. Well, now we're not running from tigers, but we are living in a very chronically stressful world. So if we're eating while stressed, none of the digestive process is happening. And this creates a cascade of issues, right? So say we're eating while stressed and we're on a PPI, right? So that's like a double whammy. This is going to create even more and more reflux, more and more heartburn, right? Creating safety in the body is the very first step for any health issue, because the body doesn't have the ability to heal itself if it doesn't feel safe. So when I took all that time off last year, I spent 5 months redoing my entire Happy Belly Method program to focus on safety in the body first before anything else. If your body doesn't feel safe while you eat, it's going to see the food as dangerous. Some food sensitivities can come, right? If you are stressed while you eat and the food isn't moving through your bowels properly, you get constipation. If you're stressed while you eat and there's some toxins going on in there, your body will draw water into your bowels as fast as it can to shoot the toxic things in your body out, which will cause diarrhea, right? So having any sort of level of chronic stress affecting your body is going to be a root cause of gut issues. In addition, we have to look at your gut microbiome. So every single person has a digestive blueprint, is what I called it. It's as unique as your fingerprint. And so I would never treat Tina with the exact same protocol as I treat Jackie, with the exact same protocol as Sally and Jenny, right? Every single person has a totally unique microbiome, which is how we find out your root cause, by looking at the patterns in the gut, what you're missing, what you have too much of, all the different digestive processes. We can see all of that. Then we know what your root cause is. And that is where we create lifelong health, is by finding your root cause and addressing it there. We stop putting band-aids over the symptoms, but we have to look at what is going on in your microbiome. Do you have bacterial overgrowth? Maybe you have a bacterial infection that is causing, right? So, right, we want everything to go down. A bacterial infection can affect everything on the way back up, from fermentation and gas, pressure pushing upwards on the belly because food isn't moving down properly, right? So this is why guessing usually takes a very long time and doesn't work long term, because we still don't know what your root cause is when we're guessing, right? So the testing portion of it is so important. And then as we get older, people just say this is a part of getting older. It truly isn't. Yes, of course. Does our body change as we get older? Abso-freaking-lutely, especially as women, right? Guys just kind of coast through. They're kind of always the same. We have beautiful magical baby making machines. So they have to go through these processes. And what we have to do as women is understand these processes in our bodies and create a rhythm and a flow and a safety and an environment in our body that works with these hormonal rhythms, not against them. We need to understand what our hormonal shifts are over 40. If we don't understand them, we're always going to be fighting against them. And as women, yes, is it frustrating that we have to go through 1,000 periods and then perimenopause and then menopause? Yeah, it is frustrating, but you know what? It's also a freaking miracle because we get to raise babies. And if you don't get to do that, that's how you were made, right? So we need to be appreciative of the fact that women's bodies are able to do this, and we just need to work with it. You don't have to suffer through perimenopause and menopause. It's not a prerequisite of being a woman. You don't have to suffer. What we need to do is understand the rhythm and the flow and work with it. Because yes, the hormones and the gut they're not different. They're the same. The gut, the brain, the hormones, the skin, everything is one. So we need to stop thinking of things as separate parts of the body. Like in the medical system, you see a different doctor for each part of your freaking body. No, it's all one, right? So understanding your hormonal rhythm is going to help your gut be in a flow. So heartburn isn't about acid at the end of the day. Like, right? So much of that isn't, it's not about too much acid. And it's not about specific foods. A lot of people are like, well, it's coffee, tomatoes, chocolate, but no, those are not bad foods. It's something off in your gut. So rather than just cutting out multiple foods because they give you heartburn, why don't we just fix what's going on in your gut, right? Then you can eat those foods. It's not the food's fault. If it was the food, no one would be able to eat it. It's not the food, it's your gut. And I say that lovingly because we know that there's something that you can do about it. So this is why I completely rebuilt my Happy Belly method into a structured 4-phase gut restoration. We don't just treat symptoms, we rebuild your health so that it is so strong that you can live a life of complete health with disease-free, pain-free. You just need to build everything really strong. So we must work on nervous system safety. Number one, the body has to feel safe to digest. We need to work on nourishment. Most women are undernourished by a lot. Most women are under eating by a lot. And we need to have the basic vitamins and minerals in the body for our system to work. Testing the gut microbiome. We have to have a good microbiome balance for the body to work properly. Those 100 trillion bacteria that we live with that are part of us, we need them to be in a good balance. And then lifestyle rhythms and detoxification. Like we need to make sure that we don't have toxins coming into the body. We need to make sure there's sleep happening. We need to make sure that, we have a nice routine going. And the combination of all these things is what makes you truly happy. I do not just hand you a pill and say, this is for your heartburn. That doesn't do anybody any good, right? We really structure your gut restoration in this program. So I just want to teach you something very, very quickly that you can do. And you might look like a weirdo, but who cares, right? Before you eat, okay, we need the body to be ready for food. The body's not ready for food, plop, your food's going to sit in your belly and ferment, right? So the body gets ready when we even look at the food. It gets ready in our brain. So we look at the food and go, oh, that looks good, right? So the brain goes, oh, okay, guys, we got food coming down the pike. Get the saliva ready. So you want to feel your saliva come out. The saliva will cue then, okay, stomach, get ready. We need stomach acid. We need pancreatic enzymes. We need bile flow, bacteria. You get ready because you're about to ferment some food, right? We need the signals to all happen. So this is a really nice way to just get your body ready before a meal, okay? So just take a nice, comfortable, tall position. We don't want to hunch forward. When you hunch forward, what happens? Your organs are squished, right? So imagine someone's just gently pulling on the crown of your head, lengthen your spine, give your organs room to work. And then we're going to take a nice big breath in down to the belly, not the neck and the shoulders, but the belly. We're going to exhale with a hum. As long as you can. Big breath in through the nose. Relax the neck, relax the chest, breathe into the belly. Long hum on the exhale. One more just like that. Inviting this sense of calm, peace, right? We're ready to eat, we're ready for food, we're ready to digest. So I invite you to try that before you eat this week. And I invite you to just think about what some of your root causes might be, because awareness is the first step. And then you can do something about it. If you don't have awareness, it's really hard to address it, right? So imagine if, your entire healing plan was based around building resiliency and strength in your body rather than getting an antacid, right? Which one of those things feels better to you? And would you rather do it by yourself, or would you rather do it with a plan and some support, right? So if you want a structured step-by-step program and the support of me, to help find your root causes and really address your symptoms that way instead of just managing your symptoms with band-aids. If that sounds good to you, I offer free phone calls to anyone in the group, so we can talk about what your symptoms are, how long you've been having them, what's worked, what hasn't worked. And then, if we want to work together, that's fantastic. If not, then hopefully I can send you out with some ideas. So you can comment yes in the comments, you can comment call. Tina says that breath truly works. Amazing. If anyone has any questions, please drop them. I also dropped a link in the chat to book a complimentary call with me. I'll be out of town starting next weekend. So if you want to get a call in, let's do it tomorrow or Friday or sometime next week before I go out of town. And then I'm also going to be doing another big masterclass in March. So I would love to have you all there, and I would love to have you invite all your friends, anyone who wants to learn about gut health, overall health, how to manage symptoms, things like that. So, any questions about heartburn, reflux, GERD, indigestion, gas, bloating? It's all kind of connected. If you are on the replay and you have questions, just drop them in the comments, and I'll come back and look at those later. And if not, then we are done for the day, and I will see you next week, same time, same place, right here in the group. Love you all. Hope you have a wonderful night, and I will talk to you soon.